Have you ever followed all the healthy eating advice, but still felt tired, stiff, or foggy? As we age, every bite matters more than ever. The decisions we make at the dinner table are no longer just about what fills us up. They're about what fuels us, what heals us, and what keeps us standing strong. For seniors especially, the right foods don't just support good health. They help preserve independence, protect our hearts, calm inflammation, and sharpen the mind. That's why knowing what to put on your plate and what to leave off is one of the most powerful choices you can make after 60. But here's where it gets tricky. Vegetables. They're supposed to be the healthiest part of the meal, right? But not all vegetables are created equal, and some, surprisingly, can do more harm than good. They might raise blood sugar, block nutrient absorption, interfere with common medications, or trigger inflammation without warning. Faced with open mouth in this video, we'll reveal the 4 vegetables seniors should avoid at all costs, and the 4 you should absolutely embrace to strengthen your body, protect your organs, and age with clarity and strength. Light bulb, and midway through, I'll share a surprising shift, a tiny dietary tweak that many seniors say helped reduce joint pain, stabilize energy, and even clear their brain fog. If you've ever been told you were eating healthy, but still didn't feel right, you're not alone. That's why Senior Health Tips exists. Tap like if you care about your long-term well-being, and hit that subscribe button to get trusted insights without the guesswork. Let's take that first step together, because after 60, the smartest food choices aren't about eating more. Backhand index pointing right, they're about eating better, with wisdom, strategy, and purpose. Backhand index pointing right, and if you've ever wondered why you're eating healthy, but not feeling better, this video might just reveal the one thing no one's told you yet. Worst vegetable number 1. Canned corn, the sweet saboteur in a senior's kitchen. Canned corn might look innocent, sweet, colorful, and convenient. It slides easily into soups, casseroles, and quick lunches. But behind the golden shine of those kernels lies a nutritional trap that silently chips away at senior health, one spoonful at a time. Let's be clear. Corn in its natural form, freshly picked and eaten off the cob, can offer modest fiber and antioxidants. But the canned version? That's a whole different beast. It's not just preserved, altered, loaded with sugar and salt, and stripped of much of its natural goodness. And for seniors, the consequences can be far-reaching, even when it feels like just another harmless veggie. Large orange diamond, a blood sugar bomb disguised as a side dish. As we age, our body's ability to regulate blood sugar becomes more fragile. Whether it's prediabetes, insulin resistance, or full-blown type 2 diabetes, many older adults already walk a metabolic tightrope. Canned corn pushes them closer to the edge, faster than they realize. Why? Because canned corn has a high glycemic index. It quickly converts to glucose, spiking blood sugar levels in record time, especially dangerous when eaten with other carbs like bread or rice. These spikes don't just sap energy, they promote belly fat, increase inflammation, and over time, they damage the arteries and heart. Light bulb, imagine pouring sugar into your gas tank every day. That's how your body feels, dealing with the flood of glucose from canned corn. Salt-sodium overload, a hidden assault on the heart. Just half a cup of canned corn can contain over 300 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, who really stops at half a cup? This level of sodium is especially risky for seniors with high blood pressure, kidney disease, or heart failure, all of which become more common with age. Sodium retains water, raises blood volume, and places extra stress on the arteries. Over time, that pressure doesn't just affect numbers on a cuff. It leads to headaches, swelling in the legs, and even emergency hospital visits. Dashing away digestive trouble you didn't see coming. Many older adults already face sluggish digestion. Add canned corn, and it's like throwing a wrench into a rusty gear. The insoluble fiber in corn is tough on aging digestive systems. It ferments in the gut, causing bloating, gas, or even constipation. This isn't just about discomfort. Gut health is directly tied to immunity, mood, and nutrient absorption, all of which seniors rely on more than ever. Test tube, and then there's the BPA and preservatives. Most canned vegetables, including corn, are packed in BP-aligned containers. BPA is a chemical that mimics estrogen and may disrupt hormones, contribute to kidney strain, and even increase the risk of certain cancers. While the science is still evolving, one thing is clear. For seniors, less exposure is always better. Medical symbol doctors note. If you're trying to eat better, canned corn may seem like a smarter alternative to fast food. But the hidden sugars, sodium, and preservatives make it a poor choice. Always check the label. If you see added sugars or high sodium, skip it. Light bulb extra tip. Love corn. Opt for fresh corn boiled on the cob or steamed from frozen, with no salt, no butter, and definitely no syrupy sweeteners. Speaking ahead, if you've ever been surprised by how healthy foods backfire, drop us a comment below. Don't forget to hit subscribe to Senior Health Tips. It's how we bring you better advice, made just for your needs. Direct hit bottom line. Canned corn isn't just a simple veggie side. It's a sugar-soaked, sodium-packed, fiber-fermenting cocktail that does more harm than good, especially to the systems that seniors rely on to stay mobile, sharp, and energetic. Yellow circle recap. YW checkmark why it matters. Spikes blood sugar, raises blood pressure, and upsets digestion. Light bulb senior-friendly tip. Swap canned corn for steamed green beans, roasted zucchini, or fresh corn on the cob, without butter or salt. Pushpin coming up next. A veggie that hides behind its superfood label, but may sabotage your thyroid and digestion when eaten raw. Worst vegetable number 2. Raw cruciferous vegetables. When superfoods turn into super triggers. They look fresh, crunchy, and full of promise. Raw broccoli, kale, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. The ultimate image of clean eating. But for seniors, especially those trying to improve their health, these veggies can sometimes do the opposite, if eaten raw and in the wrong way. Broccoli, the hidden impact on thyroid function. What most people don't realize is that raw cruciferous vegetables contain goitrogens, natural compounds that interfere with iodine absorption, a mineral your thyroid needs to function. For younger adults with robust systems, this might not matter. But for seniors, even slight disruptions in thyroid hormone can mean fatigue, memory fog, slowed metabolism, and even symptoms that mimic depression. You may feel tired, chilled, or mentally fuzzy, and never suspect your kale smoothie is partly to blame. Dashing away digestive distress, the unexpected culprit. Seniors often deal with slower gut motility, meaning food moves more slowly through the digestive system. Raw cruciferous vegetables are high in raffinose, a complex sugar that ferments in the gut, leading to bloating, pressure, and gas. Many older adults mistake this for normal indigestion, when it could simply be raw broccoli at play. No entry blocking the good stuff. These vegetables also hinder the absorption of key minerals like iron and calcium, the very nutrients seniors need for stronger bones and higher energy. It's a cruel irony. You think you're helping your health, but raw kale every day could be draining your nutrient bank account. Medical symbol doctors note. You don't have to give up these vegetables. You just need to cook them lightly. A quick steam, roast, or saute can deactivate the goitrogens while keeping the nutrients. Make cruciferous veggies work for you, not against you. Light bulb extra tip. Craving greens in your smoothie? Rotate them. Try cooked spinach, steamed beet greens, or lightly blanched kale cubes that you freeze and add cold. You'll still get the health benefits, with none of the thyroid sabotage. Speaking ahead, if you've ever tried to eat clean and felt worse, let us know in the comments. And subscribe to Senior Health Tips for smarter, safer health strategies. Direct hit bottom line. These veggies aren't bad, but eating them raw, every day, especially as a senior, can quietly undermine your digestion, hormones, and mineral balance. Yellow circle recap. YW checkmark why it matters. Raw goitrogens affect thyroid, cause bloating, block calcium. Light bulb senior tip. Cook these vegetables gently. Rotate greens and smoothies. Pushpin next. We uncover a surprising inflammation trigger found in many plant-based diets. Worst vegetable number 3. Eggplant, the hidden inflammatory villain for aging joints. Eggplant has an elegant look. It's a favorite in Mediterranean cuisine. But beneath that shiny purple skin lies a compound that could be fueling pain, especially for seniors living with arthritis, stiffness, or inflammation. Eggplant meets solanine, the joint aggravator. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, a group of vegetables that includes tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. These veggies contain solanine, a naturally occurring chemical that may increase inflammation in sensitive individuals. For older adults, who already have thinning cartilage and slower joint recovery, this hidden trigger can quietly worsen stiffness and discomfort. Collision, it's not in your head, it's in your knees. Some seniors notice a pattern. Joint pain flares up after certain meals, especially ones containing eggplant lasagna, ratatouille, or roasted vegetable medleys. That's no coincidence. Solanine is concentrated in the skin of the eggplant, and it can provoke immune responses in joints already under stress. Leg-wise seniors are more vulnerable. As we age, the body's ability to filter and eliminate irritating compounds like solanine weakens. Combined with chronic inflammation, eggplant can become the straw that breaks the camel's back, adding to pain, swelling, or that morning stiffness that just won't go away. Medical symbol doctor's note. If you're dealing with arthritis or unexplained joint pain, try an eggplant elimination trial. Remove it from your meals for 3 to 4 weeks. Track your symptoms. Then reintroduce it once and see how your joints respond. Light bulb extra tip. If you must enjoy eggplant, peel it and cook it thoroughly. Roasting or steaming may reduce solanine content slightly, and pair it with anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, olive oil, or leafy greens. Speaking head, has your joint pain ever spiked after a plant-based meal? Comment below and tell us what foods you suspect. And don't forget, subscribe to Senior Health Tips for relief you can trust. Direct hit bottom line. Eggplant may look healthy, but for seniors with joint issues, it can quietly worsen inflammation and reduce mobility. Listen to your body. It speaks louder than labels. Yellow circle recap. White heavy check mark why it matters. Contains solanine, which may increase joint inflammation. Light bulb senior tip. Peel, cook thoroughly, or avoid if you notice flare-ups. Pushpin, and now, a leafy green that most consider a superfood, but for seniors on certain meds, it can be surprisingly risky. Worst vegetable number 4. Raw spinach. A superfood with senior-specific side effects. Raw spinach has long been crowned as a nutritional powerhouse, rich in iron, folate, antioxidants, and fiber. But for older adults, especially those on medication or with nutrient absorption issues, raw spinach can quietly work against your wellness goals. Leafy green, the oxalate issue no one talks about. Raw spinach is high in oxalates, compounds that bind to calcium and iron in your digestive tract, making them harder to absorb. For seniors at risk of osteoporosis or anemia, this can be a silent setback. You may think you're nourishing your bones and blood, but the nutrients may never make it to your bloodstream. Syringe, hidden interactions with blood thinners. Here's where it gets serious. Spinach is extremely rich in vitamin K1, a nutrient that helps your blood clot. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, large amounts of raw spinach can interfere with how your medication works, throwing off your INR levels and increasing the risk of blood clots or strokes. Green salad smoothies and salads can backfire. Raw spinach is a common base for green smoothies and salads. But without cooking, The oxalates in vitamin K remain highly concentrated, potentially causing more harm than good when eaten daily or in large quantities. Brain when superfood becomes super misleading. It's frustrating because spinach really is healthy. But without adjusting how it's prepared, seniors may face fatigue from low iron, weakened bones from poor calcium uptake, or dangerous medication interactions, all while thinking they're doing the right thing. Medical symbol doctors note. Cooking spinach lightly, sautéed, steamed, or wilted into soups, reduces its oxalate levels and softens its impact on blood clotting. If you're on medication, talk to your doctor about how much spinach is safe, and whether cooked alternatives like Swiss chard or bok choy might be a better fit. Light bulb extra tip. If you're eating spinach daily and still feel tired, foggy, or weak, your body might be asking for a change. Rotate your greens. Mix in kale, cooked, arugula, or romaine for diversity without disruption. Speaking ahead, if you've ever felt unsure about your greens, comment below and subscribe to Senior Health Tips. We're here to guide you with facts that truly fit your age and lifestyle. Direct hit bottom line. Raw spinach is nutrient-rich, but for seniors, especially those on blood thinners, it can block absorption, disrupt medications, and create unintended risks. Yellow circle recap. YW checkmark, why it matters. Interferes with calcium, iron, and blood thinner medications. Light bulb senior tip. Lightly cook spinach. Limit raw servings. Explore safer greens. Pushpin next, we switch gears from what to avoid to what you absolutely should embrace after 60. Backhand index pointing right, let's begin with one root veggie that boosts circulation, sharpens the brain, and lowers blood pressure. Beets. Best vegetable number 1. Beets, the natural booster for circulation, brain, and blood pressure. Beets, with their deep, earthy color, may seem like a forgotten root. But inside, they're loaded with the exact nutrients older bodies crave most. Think of them as nature's own blood flow booster, tailor-made for the senior years. Beating heart, why circulation becomes critical after 60. When you're young, your blood flows like a fast-moving river. But with age, that river slows. Arteries stiffen, pressure rises, and circulation declines. That's where beets come in. They're packed with natural nitrates that convert into nitric oxide, a powerful compound that helps blood vessels relax, widen, and flow more freely. Better blood flow means warmer hands and feet, less dizziness when you stand up, and more oxygen reaching your brain and muscles, helping you feel sharp, steady, and full of life. Brain boosting brain clarity, naturally. The brain, just like every other organ, needs oxygen. Beets increase blood flow to the frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for focus, judgment, and memory. When that area is starved of oxygen, you feel foggy. But when blood flow improves, mental clarity comes back, and even your mood can lift. Herb inflammation fighter and digestive ally. Beets are rich in betalains, natural antioxidants that reduce silent inflammation, the kind that leads to heart disease, arthritis, and memory loss. They're also full of gut-friendly fiber, which helps with constipation and supports your microbiome, the helpful bacteria that protect your immune system and help you absorb nutrients. Medical symbol doctors note. Start small. Half a beet, roasted with a drizzle of olive oil. Or blend a few slices with ginger and lemon in a smoothie. Some people even drink beet juice before their morning walk and feel the difference in energy and endurance. Light bulb extra tip. Beets pair well with citrus. Why? Because the vitamin C from lemon or orange juice helps your body absorb the iron in beets more effectively. That means more oxygen for your cells and more fuel for your brain. Speaking Ed, if you're finding these tips helpful, or if you've ever felt confused about what's truly healthy at your age, drop us a comment below and hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels better videos made just for you. Direct at bottom line. Beets aren't just a colorful side dish. They're a circulation enhancer, brain stimulator, and gentle detoxifier, all in one. And they're one of the most powerful vegetables you can eat after 60. Green circle recap. Why heavy checkmark why it matters. Improves blood flow, clears brain fog, calms inflammation. Light bulb senior tip. Roast, blend, or steam. Start slow. Feel the difference. Pushpin coming next. A green that's gentler than spinach, yet more powerful for your bones. Backhand index pointing right. Stay tuned for the healing secrets of bok choy, the underdog leafy green your joints will thank you for. Best vegetable number 2. Bok choy, bone building, gentle on the gut, and seriously underrated. Bok choy may not have the fame of kale or spinach, but for seniors, it's a quiet champion. Light in flavor, easy to digest, and loaded with nutrients that protect your bones, heart, and immune system, this leafy green is the definition of smart aging. Why strong bones begin with the right green. Calcium is crucial after 60, but here's the catch, not all calcium is absorbed equally. Spinach, while praised, is full of oxalates that block calcium absorption. Bok choy, on the other hand, is low in oxalates. That means your body actually gets to use the calcium it contains to keep your bones strong, your posture upright, and your steps stable. Green heart more than just calcium. Bok choy also delivers magnesium, vitamin K, and potassium, a trio that strengthens bones, regulates heart rhythm, and prevents calcium from clogging up your arteries. It's like a safety net for your skeleton and your heart, all in one bite. Seedling the gut-friendly green. Many leafy vegetables cause gas or bloating in older adults. But bok choy is gentle. Its tender texture and low-fiber structure make it ideal for sensitive digestion, while still providing vitamin C to boost immunity. Medical symbol doctors note. Bok choy is quick to cook and incredibly versatile. Add it to stir-fries, chicken soups, or steam it and drizzle with sesame oil. For those with jaw issues or dentures, it's tender enough to chew without discomfort. Light bulb extra tip. Want stronger bones without pills? Add bok choy to your meals 3 times a week. That's all it takes to start building up a calcium foundation that lasts. Speaking of, have you tried bok choy before? Let us know how you prepare it in the comments. And if you're enjoying this video, tap that like and subscribe button. We're here to help you thrive. Direct to bottom line, bok choy is a senior-friendly super green, easy on the stomach, strong on bone health, and powerful for your heart and immune system. Green circle recap. Why heavy checkmark why it matters. Absorbable calcium, immune support, heart protection. Light bulb senior tip. Steam, stir fry, or add to soup. Soft, quick, and comforting. Pushpin coming next. A sweet green veggie that balances blood sugar, supports digestion, and even helps prevent muscle loss. Backhand index pointing right. Get ready to discover the power of green peas. Tiny, but mighty. Best vegetable number 3, green peas, the sweet green that strengthens, balances, and heals from the inside out. Green peas are humble. They don't make headlines. They're not trendy. But if you're over 60, they just might be one of the most important foods on your plate. Sweet, soft, packed with fiber, protein, and protective nutrients, green peas are a quiet ally in the fight against aging. She of rice fiber that actually works for seniors. Digestion slows down as we age. Constipation, bloating, or irregularity, these aren't just annoyances. They affect your energy, mood, and how your body absorbs nutrients. Green peas contain both soluble and insoluble fiber, giving you the best of both worlds. One slows sugar absorption, the other keeps you regular. Flexed biceps muscle support, that doesn't come from meat. Green peas contain nearly 8 grams of protein per cup. That's more than most vegetables. And for seniors dealing with sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, every gram counts. Stronger muscles mean fewer falls, better posture, and more independence. Syringe stabilizes blood sugar, naturally. Peas don't just help digestion. They help keep your blood sugar steady, avoiding those spikes and crashes that leave you dizzy, cranky, or reaching for sweets. The fiber in peas slows the breakdown of carbs, meaning more balanced energy all day long. DNA tiny but rich in antioxidants. These little green pearls are full of polyphenol, plant compounds that lower inflammation and support heart health. They also deliver vitamin K, folate, and B vitamins that support your brain, your circulation, and your bones. Medical symbol doctors note, green peas are soft, easy to chew, and easy to blend. Add them to omelets, soups, grain bowls, or even mash them as a side dish. No chewing struggles, no gut upset, just smooth, satisfying nourishment. Light bulb extra tip. Want an easy win? Add half a cup of peas to your lunch or dinner. Within weeks, you may notice less constipation, better blood sugar, and more energy throughout the day. Speaking it, if this part of the video struck a chord, drop a green heart emoji green heart in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It tells us you want more content designed just for your stage of life. Direct at bottom line. Green peas are small but mighty. They stabilize sugar, strengthen muscle, soothe the gut, and keep energy steady without a single pill. Green circle recap. White heavy checkmark why it matters. Blood sugar balance, muscle protection, digestive ease. Light bulb senior tip. Add to soup, mash for a side, or stir into scrambled eggs. Pushpin coming next. A bold, colorful leafy green that helps detox your liver, protect your vision, and fire up your immune system. Backhand index pointing right next. We unlock the power of Swiss chard and why it may be the missing link in your senior wellness plan. Best vegetable number 4. Swiss chard, the colorful shield for your eyes, liver, and immune system. When it comes to senior health, Swiss chard may be the most overlooked superhero in your produce aisle. With its vibrant red, yellow, and green stems, this leafy vegetable isn't just beautiful, it's one of the most complete vegetables you can eat after 60. Soap gentle detox for a tired liver. Swiss chard is rich in betalains, natural pigments that help your liver process toxins and waste. As we age, our liver works harder to manage medications, processed foods, and environmental toxins. This veggie gives your liver the support it needs to function at its best, without harsh cleanses or supplements. Brain immune boosting, right when you need it most. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a hidden threat for many seniors. It's linked to fatigue, slower recovery, and illness. Swiss chard fights back with vitamin C, zinc, and flavonoids, which activate white blood cells and strengthen your defense system by protecting the windows to your world. One of the leading causes of vision decline in older adults is macular degeneration. Swiss chard contains lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful antioxidants that shield the retina, filter out harmful blue light, and reduce the risk of cataracts. Bone friendly, without the bloating. It's also rich in magnesium and vitamin K, nutrients that keep your bones strong and flexible. And unlike spinach, it's lower in oxalates, meaning more calcium gets absorbed, and your joints stay mobile and pain-free. Medical symbol doctors note. Lightly saute Swiss chard with olive oil and garlic. You can add it to lentil soup, scrambled eggs, or even use the large leaves as a wrap. It's soft, easy to chew, and adds color and vitality to every plate. Light bulb extra tip. Want brighter vision and a healthier gut? Add Swiss chard to your meals twice a week. You may notice less eye strain, smoother digestion, and even more restful sleep. Speaking and enjoying these practical, senior-friendly tips? Hit that like button and comment below. Which vegetable are you adding to your next grocery list? Every small step builds a healthier tomorrow. Direct at bottom line, Swiss chard is a nutrient-dense powerhouse. It cleans the liver, sharpens vision, boosts immunity, and strengthens bones, all in one colorful bite. Green circle recap. White heavy checkmark why it matters. Supports liver, protects eyes, boosts immunity. Light bulb senior tip. Saute or stir into stews. Enjoy 2 times a week for steady results. Pushpin now let's bring it all together and wrap up with a message that may shift how you think about vegetables forever. Backhand index pointing right, let's move into your final takeaway and why one change, right now, might add years of strength to your life. Final takeaway, one small choice, a lifetime of benefits. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a deep breath and reflect. These 8 vegetables, 4 to avoid and 4 to embrace, may seem like small decisions, but the truth is they hold power. Power over how you move, how you feel, how you age. Counterclockwise arrows button the big picture. Avoiding common pitfalls like canned corn, raw cruciferous veggies, eggplant, and raw spinach helps reduce inflammation, protect your thyroid, ease digestion, and avoid risky medication interactions. Meanwhile, embracing beets, bok choy, green peas, and Swiss chard gives your body the building blocks it needs to stay strong, sharp, and mobile. Lightbulb life lesson. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just one change, one smarter swap on your plate, can ripple outward, boosting your energy, reducing pain, and helping you stay independent longer. Give practical tips to remember. Start your day with beets or green peas for energy that lasts. Cook cruciferous veggies, never eat them raw without caution. Replace spinach in smoothies with bok choy or Swiss chard. Watch your sodium. Avoid canned versions. Go fresh or frozen. Add new vegetables gradually. Let your body lead the way. Raising hands, you deserve to feel good again. Whether you're managing blood pressure, arthritis, brain fog, or fatigue, these vegetables aren't just food. They're medicine in the most natural form. Speech balloon. If today's video gave you clarity, or even just one helpful insight, please hit the like button. Share it with a friend or family member who could use this info. And most importantly, subscribe to our channel, Senior Health Tips. We're here for you, with content made specifically to help you live well, live strong, and live smart. Backhand index pointing right. The next step? Try adding just one of these good veggies to your next meal. Your future self will thank you. Red Heart, stay healthy, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.